Success is one of those things that people think they can run after and somehow catch if they just go fast enough. But the truth is, success doesn't respond to hustle alone. It doesn't show up just because you're working hard or chasing it with everything you've got. You can run after it all day long and it'll still stay out of reach if you're not attracting it with the right mindset, energy, and habits. That's the part most people miss. Success isn't some scared animal that needs chasing down. It's a magnetic force that responds to the energy you're putting out. People spend years sprinting after promotions, business deals, attention, validation, but the ones who actually get those things consistently aren't the loudest or the most frantic. They're the ones who've become ready. They've aligned their actions with their intentions. They show up every day like they already belong in the space they want to occupy. They're not begging for success, they're drawing it in. That's the difference. When you become someone who is ready for success, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, even physically, success recognizes that and starts coming your way. Think about it like this. If you're going to a job interview and your whole energy is, I hope they pick me, I hope they like me, I hope I'm enough, you're walking in from a place of lack. You're chasing approval. But if you go in thinking, I've got value, I've put in the work, I'm here because I belong, now you're attracting the opportunity. That confidence, that preparation, that inner belief, that's what makes people look at you differently. Success is attracted to order, to vision, to intention. It's not drawn to chaos, confusion, or fear. That's why people who are always complaining, always doubting, always reacting, they stay in the same place. Success doesn't follow that. It doesn't trust inconsistency. You have to build your character and your life in a way that makes success feel welcome, not hunted. When you're chasing success without preparing yourself to handle it, it's like chasing a car you're not licensed to drive. Even if you catch it, you don't know what to do with it. That's why so many people get a little money, a little fame, a little recognition, and they crash and burn. Because they never became the kind of person who could sustain what they were after. Chasing is emotional. Attracting. So, what does it look like to attract success? It means you start showing up early, even when no one's watching. You work on your mindset. You speak life over your dreams. You clean up your circle. You stop wasting time and start investing it. You develop self-discipline and stop depending on motivation. You stop looking for shortcuts and start honoring the process. And most importantly, you become someone who believes you're already worthy. Because success doesn't crown the desperate, it crowns the prepared. Success wants to come into your life, but it needs a space to land. If your life is full of fear, doubt, clutter, or bad habits, where's it supposed to go? You can't attract what you're not ready to receive. So the next time you catch yourself trying to chase something down, stop, pause, ask yourself, am I becoming the person that success is looking for? Because once you do, you won't have to chase it anymore. It'll come find you. Becoming the person that success is looking for means taking responsibility for who you are, not just what you want. Too often people focus on goals, the car, the house, the job title, the followers, but they neglect the character it takes to carry those things. Success isn't just about having, it's about being. If you want to be successful, you have to act, think, and live like someone who's worthy of it. That transformation doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't come by accident. You have to intentionally work on you, your habits, your mindset, your integrity. Success is not attracted to who you pretend to be, it's attracted to who you actually are. You can dress the part, talk the part, and post all the motivational quotes you want online, but if your actions don't match your words, success will pass you by. It doesn't care about appearances, it cares about alignment. If you want to lead others, but can't even lead yourself out of bed on time, you're not ready. Success looks for the person who has put in the internal work You've got to ask yourself, what kind of person would naturally attract the kind of life I want? If you want peace, are you peaceful? If you want wealth, are you responsible with what you have right now? If you want influence, are you honest and consistent when no one's watching? These are the real questions, because the truth is, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Life responds to the energy you bring. You can't fake that. You either match the level of success you desire or you don't. That's why personal growth is not optional, it's necessary. You have to sharpen your skills, improve your thinking, and build habits that support the life you want. It's like a garden. If you plant the right seeds and take care of the soil, the harvest will come. But if you skip the process and expect fruit, you'll be disappointed every time. Becoming the person success is looking for means showing up every day with consistency, not just waiting for a magical moment to change everything. You are the miracle. You just have to put in the work. People want the platform, but they don't want the preparation. They want the reward, but they avoid the responsibility. But success doesn't work like that. It's not a lottery ticket. It's a lifestyle. And if your lifestyle doesn't reflect excellence, effort, and faith, success won't stay. It might visit for a minute, but it won't unpack its bags. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. It's about waking up each day and asking, how can I be better than I was yesterday? It's about learning from your mistakes, getting back up, and doing it again with more wisdom and more grit. It's about staying true to your vision, even when the results haven't shown up yet, because that's what successful people do. They live the vision before the vision becomes visible. So instead of waiting on a lucky break or hoping for a handout, focus on becoming. Grow your capacity, stretch your thinking, tighten up your habits, build your confidence from the inside out. Because when success shows up, it's not checking your wish list, it's checking your character. And when it sees someone who's ready, someone who's wrong, someone who's real, it comes and it stays, not because of luck, but because you became the person who deserved it. There's a universal law that never fails. You reap what you sow. That means whatever you put out into the world through your thoughts, your actions, your words, exactly what's coming back to you. Life doesn't respond to what you say you want, it responds to what you consistently do. If you're planting seeds of laziness, excuses, negativity, or doubt, don't be surprised when your life produces frustration, missed opportunities, and stagnation. That's not life being unfair. That's the harvest of the seeds you chose to plant. A lot of people walk around angry at the results, but never stop to examine their habits. They're mad they don't have the money, the relationship, the job, the peace they want. But they haven't been sowing anything that would create those things. You can't wish for a better life while planting seeds of procrastination and self-pity. That's like expecting to grow apples after planting onion seed. What you plant is what grows. No exceptions. You get out of life what you consistently invest into it. You want to harvest success, you've got to start planting discipline, resilience, and excellence. You have to plant effort, kindness, courage, and focus. Those things don't always bring instant results. In fact, sometimes it feels like nothing's happening. But just like any real seed in the ground, there's growth happening even when you don't see it. And that's where most people give up. They sow for a little while, and when the harvest doesn't come quickly enough, they dig up their own seeds with doubt and impatience. Let's be real, planting the right seeds isn't always easy. It takes work to stay positive when things look negative. It takes strength to keep showing up when you feel discouraged. But that's exactly how you create a strong, healthy harvest. You don't just sow when you feel like it. You sow because you're committed to the future you see. You sow when it's raining, when it's dry, when it's lonely, and when it feels like no one is watching, because deep down, you know the harvest is coming. One of the most important things to understand is that this law doesn't just apply to your career or your goals. It applies to every part of your life. If you want strong relationships, are you sowing trust, communication, and love? If you want good health, are you sowing discipline, movement, and healthy habits? If you want peace of mind, are you sowing gratitude and letting go of drama? Every area of your life is a field, and whether you realize it or not, you're planting seeds in it every single day. That's why self-awareness is so important. You have to check in with yourself and ask, what am I really sowing? It's easy to say you're working hard, but are you really giving your best effort or just staying busy? It's easy to say you want better, but are you sowing the patience, responsibility, and integrity it takes to handle better when it shows up? Because if you're not willing to do the planting, you don't get to complain about Nothing grows in a field you neglect. And even more importantly, nothing worthwhile grows in a field you poison with bitterness, fear, and jealousy. You've got to clear the weeds, the toxic thoughts, the distractions, the bad influences, and make room for what you really want to grow. Every day is a chance to sow better seeds. You may not see the results tomorrow or next week, but if you stay faithful to the process, the harvest will come. And when it does, it won't be a surprise. It'll be the natural result of everything you've been building, one seed at a time. Your environment has the power to shape your future more than you realize. The people you surround yourself with, the conversations you have, the energy you're exposed to daily, all of that either pushes you towards success or pulls you away from it. You can have all the dreams and ambition in the world, but if you're surrounded by folks who aren't going anywhere, eventually you'll stop moving too. Not because you don't want more, but because your environment has trained you to settle. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to grow in soil that isn't made for growth. You're trying to fly while everyone around you is comfortable crawling. You're talking vision and they're talking drama. You're thinking about building a future and they're stuck talking about the past. That kind of atmosphere will choke your ambition. It will drain your energy. And if you're not careful, it will convince you that average is good enough. But average and greatness can't live in the same space. One will always push the other out. Look at the people closest to you. What are they talking about? Are they encouraging you to dream bigger, or are they reminding you why it probably won't work? Are they working on their goals or just talking about what they used to do? Energy is contagious. If you hang around doubt long enough, you'll start second-guessing yourself. If you're constantly around people who fear change, you'll begin to fear it too. But if you surround yourself with dreamers, doers, and disciplined minds, success becomes your new normal. It's not just about cutting people off. It's about elevating your space. Not everyone is meant to go with you to the next level, and that's okay. You can love people from a distance without letting their habits influence your direction. Sometimes the most important step toward your future is stepping away from your comfort zone. And that includes familiar people, places, and patterns. Just because you've known someone for years doesn't mean they deserve a front row seat in your life right now. Longevity doesn't equal alignment. Your environment isn't only made up of people, it also includes what you read, what you listen to, what you watch, and what you give your attention to every day. If you're feeding your mind junk, negativity, and distractions, you're starving your potential. You can't expect to think like a winner if your daily intake is filled with complaints, gossip, and nonsense. What you consume will eventually shape your mindset, and your mindset will always determine your outcome. Creating the right environment means being intentional. It means setting boundaries with your time and energy. It means spending time in spaces that inspire you, even if that means being alone for a while. Silence can be a powerful environment for growth. You don't always need noise to feel productive. Sometimes you just need clarity, focus, and the right atmosphere to hear your own vision more clearly. You've got to start asking yourself hard questions. Is my environment pushing me forward or holding me back? Am I being challenged to grow or am I being encouraged to stay the same? Success isn't just about hard work. It's also about putting yourself in the right place to win. If you plant a seed in the wrong environment, it won't grow, no matter how strong the seed is. But put that same seed in the right soil. With the right light, water, and care, it will thrive. You are not a product of your environment unless you choose to be. You can change it. You can rise above it. But you've got to be honest enough to admit when it's time to elevate. Your future is too important to be stuck in a place that can't support it. If your environment isn't growing you, it's stunting you. And that's a cost you can't afford. Consistency is one of the most powerful forces behind lasting success. It's not flashy. It's not exciting. It doesn't get the applause. But consistency is what separates the people who make it from the people who only talk about making it. Everyone can be motivated for a week, maybe even a month. But it's what you do when nobody is watching, when the mood is gone, when the results aren't showing yet. That's what tells the real story. Success watches how you move in the dark before it shines a light on you. You probably heard the phrase, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That's the mindset of someone who understands consistency. They don't wait for opportunity to knock. They live like it's coming every day. They show up early even when there's no audience. They work hard even when there's no praise. They practice their craft not for attention, but for mastery. They keep planting seeds because they know the harvest only comes to those who refuse to stop watering the ground. The truth is, life will test your commitment long before it rewards your effort. You'll have seasons where it feels like nothing is moving. You're putting in the work, but the door still hasn't opened. You're doing the right things, but the breakthrough still hasn't come. That's where most people quit. They think, well, maybe it's not meant to be, or maybe I'm not good enough. But those who understand consistency know something deeper. Results always lag behind effort. The fruit comes later. You have to keep showing up long enough to see it grow. Consistency is about discipline, not feelings. You might not feel like working out, showing up to your job with excellence, practicing your skill, or handling your business, but feelings aren't facts. If you only move when you feel like it, you'll stay stuck. Success doesn't respond to mood swings, it responds to persistence. The ones who win are the ones who keep going even when they're tired, frustrated, or unsure. They don't let emotions make their decisions, they let their purpose do that. Think about it like this. Every time you show up consistently, you're building trust with your future. You're proving to life that you can handle the pressure, the process, and the promotion. You're showing that you're not just wishing, you're working. You're not just talking, you're walking it out. That kind of daily commitment creates momentum, it builds character, and eventually it builds results. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It means not giving up when things aren't perfect. It means getting back on track quickly when you slip. Everyone messes up. Everyone has off days. But consistent people don't stay down. They realign, refocus, and return to the path. That's the difference. They don't let failure define them. They let it refine them. Because in the end, success isn't a single moment. It's the sum of small decisions repeated every day, even when it's hard. When you're consistent, people start to trust you. Opportunities start to find you. And most importantly, you start to trust yourself. That inner confidence builds every time you keep a promise to yourself. Every time you show up, even when no one else notices. Every time you keep going, even when progress is slow. That's when you know you're on the right path, not because it's easy, but because you didn't quit. So no matter what you're working toward, understand this. Talent may get attention, but consistency earns respect. It builds momentum, it creates results, It might not feel glamorous, but it's powerful. Day in and day out, brick by brick. That's how success is built. Not in the big moments, but in the small, consistent steps you take when no one is clapping. That's where greatness is made. You attract what you are, not what you pretend to be, not what you wish for, and not what you say you want out loud. Life doesn't respond to lip service. It responds to alignment. If there's a gap between who you are and what you say you want, that gap will keep you from experiencing the success you're chasing. Because the truth is, you can only draw into your life what matches your identity, your mindset, and your energy. So if you want to attract success, you have to become the kind of person success naturally gravitates toward. Think about it. If you're walking around every day filled with doubt, fear, bitterness, or laziness, that energy sends a signal. That signal says, I'm not ready. It doesn't matter how good your ideas are or how big your dreams are. If the inside doesn't match the vision won't come to life. People can feel who you really are, even if you hide it behind a smile. Energy doesn't lie, and that's why transformation has to start from the inside out. You can't fake being successful. You might be able to post the right pictures, say the right quotes, or dress the part, but life knows the truth. It knows your habits, your mindset, your attitude. And those things are either drawing opportunities to you or pushing them away. If you're constantly thinking small, operating from a place of fear, or surrounded by chaos, then you're telling success that you're not prepared for what you're asking for. On the other hand, when you carry yourself with purpose, discipline, confidence, and humility, you start to attract people, situations, and doors that match that level of living. The world doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you are. So the question becomes, who are you right now? Are you the version of yourself that your goals require? Are you living in alignment with the values and mindset that success demands? Because successful people think differently, they speak differently, they move with intention, they take ownership of their time, their emotions, and their energy. They don't blame the world. They take responsibility for creating the world they want to live in. This is why personal development isn't optional. If you want more, you have to become more. And becoming more isn't about changing your personality. It's about elevating your thinking, your standards, your focus. It's about letting go of the excuses, the drama, the distractions. It's about becoming emotionally intelligent, spiritually grounded, and mentally tough. You can't attract a high-quality life with a low-quality mindset. People often think success is about external things, the money, the status, the recognition, but real success starts on the inside. It's a quiet confidence. It's peace in your decisions. It's discipline when no one's looking. It's choosing growth over comfort every single time. And when you start living that way consistently, you'll notice things start to shift. People will treat you differently. Opportunities will start to appear. And it's not magic, it's the result of your energy becoming magnetic to what you desire. So instead of trying to chase success, shift your focus to becoming the version of yourself who naturally attracts it. Do the work to clean up your mindset, show up with excellence, live with purpose, speak with clarity, move with integrity. Be the kind of person success would be proud to partner with. Because once who you are lines up with what you want, you won't have to chase anything. It'll come to you, not because you begged for it, but because you became it.